want to go higher.
Amen. Yeah.
Jesus says as much right now.
That's all right.
In Luke 14. See, we move into these parables, Sister Marlene, and everyone looks at them as good stories. But you have to understand the circumstances that surround Luke chapter 14. Jesus has set his sights to Jerusalem. He is very clearly knowing that he is on his way to the cross. There are some who wish that Jesus was going to the spa. There are some who wish that Jesus had set his sights onto a good time. There are some who wish, Jesus, I wish you were going to the Dell on the night that they had the basement party with Lady B. I wish we were going somewhere that we could enjoy ourselves. Jesus, why are you going to the cross?
Thank you, Lord.
Amen. Amen.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you this quick story. A young man told me, and it's always amazing to me, because if you get into this gospel ministry hoping that folks say good things about you, then you're in dangerous space, my brother and my sister.
Right, man.
So I do the work that I do to the best of my ability because I believe God has called me to the work.
Amen.
Well, a young man came to me and he said, I want you to know that your sermons really talk to me. They really are amazing to me.
Yes.
I'm almost embarrassed. If I wasn't this wonderful shade of brown, I might have blushed a little bit. But nevertheless, it was that idea that this was able to bless someone and they were able to receive it. And another young man came up and he said, the best thing I like about you, Pastor Houston, is that you meet us right where we are.
Yes.
He said you don't talk over our heads. You're able to tell us what the scriptures are able to say, but you're able to tell it in a way that we can receive. So when I talk about Lady B's basement party, I know some of y'all win. I know you had fun. I know you were here in church this morning. And so that's the idea behind Jesus going to the cross, but we wish he was going somewhere that was fun, because he moves in to say that if I go to the cross, then you surely will have one as well.
Amen.
Jesus is on his way, and there are those who believe that Jesus is going to set up this earthly kingdom, but he stops for a minute, and look at verse 25. Now large crowds going along, and he turned to them and said, if any of y'all don't hate the father, the mother, the children, the job, even yourself, then you can't follow me. That's hard to swallow, especially for folks that love their families. What are you talking about, Jesus? How can you say this with the literal sense that I have to hate them in order to serve you? I'm not going to tell you to hate your parents, because it doesn't work that way. It would contradict scripture. You can't say honor your father and mother so that your days may be long on the earth, and then say hate your father and mother that you might follow me. It does not add up. But what it does say is Jesus wants you to know that if you are going to follow me, there will be a cost that you have to pay.
Amen.
There will be moments that you have to give up, because God has shown time and time again that he's a jealous God.
Yes.
You remember in Deuteronomy chapter 6 verses 4 and 5, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. We shall love the Lord God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. God says that if you are going to follow me, if you are going to be a disciple of Jesus the Christ, then you must be ready to pay the cost. You must be ready to do what I'm calling you to do, even when it hurts you in the flesh. There's too many folks walking around saying these things about, well, I don't feel like it. I thank God I sat under some godly preaching for a long piece of my life to be able to know that we don't walk by our feelings, we walk by faith. Because ask yourself the question, would you go to work if you walk by your feelings every day? Oh, say hallelujah. Would you go to the family dinner with that cousin you can't stand at Thanksgiving time if you walk by your feelings? We don't walk by our feelings, we walk by faith. Because sometimes as we follow Jesus down this road that he's called us to, there will be a cost that we must pay. There is something that we must do, and Christ is expecting loyalty.
Amen. Amen. Talk about it.
Oh, let me see if I can make it plain. I talked about Lady B in the basement party. Let's talk about Kendrick for a minute. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. 10-4, no switching sides. When we say we're with Jesus, are you with me or you're not? Oh, I thank God for those who can be loyal, who say that my yes is my yes and my no is my no, and I will be here through the end. I tell you, Christ is expecting loyalty. Sometimes it's easy to turn around and say that I won't do these things when nobody knows that you're a Christian. Oh, hallelujah. It's easy to be a Christian if nobody knows you're a Christian. It's like being a chameleon. You can just blend in. But Christ is saying, I have called you out. And now I'm expecting you to have loyalty. There's no switching sides. It's kind of my idea, my thought process in regards to folks that find themselves, they neither hot nor cold, they find themselves lukewarm. Because they don't know if I stay with Jesus in this situation, it might cost me something. If I stay with Jesus in this situation, they might say something about me. If I stay with Jesus on this side and say what thus saith the Lord, they might not want to talk to me anymore. Well, I'm all right because I told you before, I only need one good friend. And the scriptures tell me there is no friend like the Lord Jesus. So if I don't have any friends, I got Jesus saying, that's all right, Houston. I'll eat with you. I'll talk with you. I'll sit with you. I'll drink with you. If you don't have anyone else, Jesus is all right with you.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
Everyone say, be prepared.
Be prepared.
If you're going to receive Jesus Christ, if you're going to walk up the aisle, it's amazing to me. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he said, Houston, I saw on Facebook that you got a new member. He said, you get some new members? I said, yeah, we get some new members, right? They come in and we take pictures and say hi. He said, well, I've had a tough time. I've had a drought, and it's scary because I try to be friends with my pastor friends, and it's hard for a lot of pastors out here, and it's hard for them to continue on in the work, male and female. And so I say to him, I said, well, have you got any new members lately? How's it going? He said, well, I haven't gotten it. I said, well, what you doing? And he said, well, I don't know. No one seems to be coming. I said, are you asking them to come? Do you give an invitation? He said, no. I said, let's start there. If you want somebody to come, you better say, will you come? Will you come down the aisle? We've decided that certain things are so passé in church that now we don't want them to just come the way we ask them to come. But the scriptures are very clear. It says, why don't you come? It's almost like a walk of affirmation when you get out of your seat and come to the Lord. You're not walking up to Houston, you're walking up to Jesus. And you're saying, Jesus, I want to reacquaint myself with you. Oh, let me see if I can make that plain, Brother Raheem. See, you sometimes have to reacquaint yourself with Jesus. He hasn't forgotten about you because the scripture says, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. I just been waiting for you to reacquaint yourself with me. Woo! I might take a vacation Sunday this month, so I got to get it all in. Amen. Notice I said I might take a vacation Sunday. See, I like the work I do. Jesus. Be prepared. Jesus says that there will be a cost that you have to pay if you are going to follow me, and it's important that you prepare yourself for what is to come. And he gives you two examples. The one example is very clear because the original hearers would understand it well. In the Fidennae Amphitheater. Fidennae is 8 miles north of Rome. They had gathered to watch the gladiatorial games. It's almost like the movie Gladiator. Are you not entertained? And they find themselves in this great structure. But it's like many people who do things now, they try to do it on the cheap. They didn't want to spend the money necessary to build the right structure so that the people could be safe. This is in the original hearer's understanding. The story in Fidennae, 8 miles north of Rome, that they gathered to see the gladiators, but as they were there cheering at the top of their lungs, the whole place crashed. 50,000 were dead. In this year 27, common error. And so you see here that Jesus says, knowing that this has taken place, that now which one of you would seek to build something? If you haven't first counted the cost about how much you have to make sure you can complete it, who would go to war? If you have not looked at it first like the mother of dragons and seen that you need to make sure you have enough warriors in order to win the contest and win the battle, you and I must be prepared. The scriptures say in Matthew chapter 5, if the world hated me first, then what do you think they're going to do with you? If they did it to me, then what do you think they're going to do with you? I was talking to my father in the hospital room, and if it was left up to him, I would preach about hell every week. He would say, Al, make sure the folks don't go to hell. All right, man. I'll see if I can work that in there. Amen. You know, that always gets everybody happy. You know, they get excited when they hear about that weeping and gnashing of teeth. But it's just like... But as I was going to and fro in my life this week, I began to realize that as Christians, we must own who we have said we are. I'm tired of the willy-nilly, wishy-washy, moving every which way, don't know where they stand. Now is the time.
Amen.
If it's not going to be now, then when will it be? Because you see what I see. The NAACP said, don't go to Missouri.
That's right.
And when is it going to be a time for the people of God to stand up?
Amen.
And not just those that identify as African Americans, but I hold my white brothers and sisters, I hold them to task as well. I hold my Latino brothers to task as well. I hold my Asian brothers and sisters to task as well. God has called us all to stand against what is taking place right now. And we find ourselves shivering and quaking because we don't want folks not to like us. Oh, they might not want to be friends with me on Facebook. I lived a long time without Facebook. I'm from the pager generation. I don't need that. I told a young man the other day, I said, y'all showing all your business. I came up in the time, I don't want anyone to know my business. I put my code in my pager and hope you can't figure it out. But we must be prepared for what is to come. So I move forward. How do you prepare yourself? Everyone say, how do you prepare yourself?
How do you prepare yourself?
We must do the things that God has told us to do. If you haven't read your Bible this week, then let's start right there. Make sure that you are engaging in the spiritual disciplines. Howard Thurman told us, the great African-American theologian, he told us that it is the spiritual disciplines that continue to bring us inch by inch back to the reality of God. Inch by inch back to the reality of God. What does that mean? That means that we must pray. We must read our scriptures. We must engage in the work that God has told us to do so that we are prepared for when things go awry in our lives. Well, Jesus said there will be a cost. He said, I want you to be prepared for that cost. And most importantly, I want you to stay woke. Amen. Stay woke. He didn't really say that. He said stay salty. Amen. But I read an article, Sister Carol, this week that it said, is woke theology destroying the African American church? And it was amazing to me as I was reading people's comments and I read the article myself, and they said it with such gusto, like, yeah, woke theology is ruining the church. And I said to myself, I surely, if I put everything that I thought on the computer, I'd be in trouble, y'all. Like, I would be in trouble. But my question to a few people was, I thought Jesus was woke the whole time. My Bible tells me that he was willing to eat with the sinners and the publicans alike. My theology tells me Jesus already been woke. I find myself with the folks with leprosy. I find myself with the woman with all these husbands. I find myself around the woman with the issue of blood. I find myself raising the dead. I find myself doing everything taboo. I've been woke the whole time. If anything, the church went to sleep. Jesus says, stay woke. Well, look what it says. He says, therefore, salt is good. Salt is good. But see, if you lose your taste, then you ain't no good to anything. You're no good to the ground, and you're sure enough not good enough for my food. So make sure you stay salty. What does that mean? That means that when folks come around, don't clam up. Tell them about the goodness of God. When folks come around, don't get nervous. You say what God has said. He already gave you a good disclaimer. Don't blame me, blame the Lord. Because God is the one who said that I ought to treat folks the way I want to be treated. God's the one that said I need to be the type of man that my children can look up to. God is the one who said. Make sure you stay woke. And see, I don't want to be like them things in the store. What are they, baby? The stuff that is not really salt. They give you, I can't believe it's not salt. What is it? What is it? Can't believe it's not butter. What's the other one? They got some other stuff. Dash. They want you dash. Some of y'all been dashed too long. It's time to go back to salt again. We trying to make ourselves good to every palate. Sometimes it's good to be salty. Now, unless you think I missed it, that there's a cost to discipleship. Lest you think I missed it when Jesus said there's a cost to following me. Make sure you're prepared, because I demand loyalty just in case you missed it when Jesus said I want you to remain salty. Let's walk the road with Jesus for a while. There's a cost for your salvation. It was not bought with gold nor silver, but it was bought with the blood of Jesus. Let's walk with Jesus for a while. Let's walk with Jesus as he went down the road to Calvary. You remember while he was on the cross, we were on his mind. Let's walk with Jesus for a little while. There's a cost to anything that you want to do in life. But remember what the scripture said, for the joy that was set before him, he endured the pain that he might hang for you and I. So now, because I have everlasting life and I've been promised a place in glory, I say thank you, Lord, for paying the cost. Thank you, Lord, for bleeding for me. Thank you, Lord, for setting me free. Thank you, Lord, for cleansing my sin. Jesus, he paid it all. All to him I owe. Sin has left the crimson stain. He washed it. He washed it white. See if I can work this in here for a minute. My daddy told me, Brother Teron, to tell the people that there's a heaven to go to and a hell to miss.
Amen. Right. Amen.
My daddy told me, he said, make sure you don't fall victim to all the social things that the folks want you to talk about, but tell them that there's everlasting life found in Jesus Christ. I said, Daddy, I'll tell them. I'll tell them that Jesus has paid the cost for both you and I. I'll tell them that Jesus wants you right now, all your stains and all, because he said, I'll wash you white as snow. If you've never received Jesus Christ, today is the day. Don't be scared off by what I told you. That there's a cost to following Jesus. Sure enough, Deacon Cole, there's a cost. But it's like the song says, it's sweeter than anything I know. Lisa, what was it? Sweeter than the honey on a honeycomb. Day by day, it gets sweeter walking with Jesus. I thank God that now I'm not where I used to be, but it has yet to be determined what I shall be. If you've never received Jesus, I want you to come, not for me or for yourself. Second, if you want a church home, I invite you to come. Oh, I must have preached him up. Daddy turning in right now. Is that him? Yeah, that's him. That's him. I must have preached him up. Got him up. If you want to join a good church home, this is a good place to be. We've been serving the Lord with joy and gladness for 39 years, and guess what? We're going to serve him until the Lord comes. So I invite you to come. If you want someone to pray with you, I invite you to come. Hey, y'all spread out now. Y'all spread out, spread out so that people, I don't want anyone to get missed. I want everyone to be able to get to a person and let us stand. Let us stand.